Assalamualaikum Dr. Hisham. Today, we will make a presentation for course ACT 3132, Management Accounting 2, regarding literature review on cash management and profitability of SMEs in Malaysia. This is the list of group member. As a first presenter, my name is Nur Emilia binti Muhammad Hazan, and my metric number is 202038. First of all, our presentation today will be divided into 4 sections, which is introduction, research background, research comparison, and summary. I will begin with introduction. Cash management is the issue of this literature review. We choose cash management because it is significant in businesses, especially SMEs. The importance are, firstly, cash management helps to build up monetary management and continuity of businesses. Next, it also become an indication to investor while deciding on investing decision, as it portrayed a clear situation of the businesses. And lastly, cash management has an unavoidable relationship with the SME's failure. Hence, what is the purpose of this review? First, to study how cash management affects the SME's profitability that had been discovered in prior research. Second, to present the overview of final results from earlier studies. And third, to recognize the significant gaps as improvement to the future study. Through this review, we have emphasized a certain objective or area of view. Generally, our objective is to investigate the effects of cash management of the SME's profitability. However, specifically, this review serves three objectives, which are to assess the impact of inventory management to SME's profitability, to identify the impact of trade receivables to SME's profitability, and to evaluate the impact of resources availability to SME's profitability. Next section will be presented by Noliana.
Thank you, Emilia. Hi, everyone. My name is Noliana Betidin, metric number 202045. I will proceed with research background. Cash holds an important role in a business to ensure the operation of a business went well. Cash management refers to the collection, handling, control, and investment of the organizational cash and cash equivalent to ensure optimal utilization of the firm's liquid resources. Meanwhile, inventory management is the process of ordering, handling, storing, and delivering stocks to the customer. Usually, inventory can be calculated based on days of inventory outstanding. Cash management is depending on how SME business manage their own inventory, holding more inventory from what they should to convert cash into non-cash assets. Furthermore, trade receivable is the amount owed to a business by its customer, which is sells goods or services to the customer by providing credit term. The collection period can be measured by days of sales outstanding, which is the average number of days taken for a company to receive payment after they selling the goods or service to the customer. The higher trade receivable will extend the time to the current assets to turn into cash. Lastly, resources availability consists of human resources, financial resources, and technological resources. A company should have a good framework for their resources availability to enhance the implementation of cash management. A good resources availability will enhance the effectiveness of cash management. Next, I will pass to the next presenter, Emilia.
Next section is research comparison. This section is to analyze the several research that have been done previously on the same issue. This section will be divided into three components of cash management, which is inventory management, trade receivables, and resources availability. For inventory management, there are two research that is related. One of the study is conducted by Abdullah Hassan Gorodotse, Rahima Abbas Ali, and Abbas Ali in 2016, while the other is written by Abdullah Hassan Gorodotse, Rahima Abbas Ali, Ahmad Abu Bakar, and Muhammad Nura Ibrahim Na'la in 2017. For your information, these two research is actually a continuity research. From this table, we can see the difference and similarities in various aspects of the research conducted. The first aspect is purpose. In 2016, the research focused to analyze how inventory management affects the profitability of the Malaysian SMEs businesses. In 2017, it's become more complex because the purpose is to study the influence of working capital management on Malaysian SMEs profitability. For the variable aspects, variable consists of three types of variables, which is dependent variables, independent variables, and control variables. These two research use the similar variables, which is for independent variables, they use ROA, NOP, and ROE. Independent variables stands SM is this inventory turnover, while control variables is SMEs businesses, manufacturing sectors, and period of the data. But in 2017, they add a few of controlling variable, which is size of firms, leverage, and sales growth. For the theory, both of research came with hypothesis there is a negative relationship between inventory turnover index and SME's profitability. Next, the aspect is we compare is method. Method can be divided into two types, which is data collection method and analysis method. For the data collection method, both of research use a similar method, which the data is collecting from the annual report of the SMEs businesses that obtained from Companies Commission of Malaysians (CCM). There are 66 samples businesses in manufacturing industry that involved in this research. The data was collected from 2016 to 2012. For the analysis method, they use a quite similar method, which they use ordinary least squares OLS regression and person correlation test. But in 2017, they add a three separate equation model for the profitability proxies, which includes the controlling variables in the calculations. And next, result result obtained have a slightly difference between these two research. The difference is on the relationship of ROA with ITID. In 2016 research, it identified the negative relationship is significant. However, 2017 it become insignificant. However, the conclusion is similar. The result shows that there is negative relationship between inventory turnover and SME's profitability. Therefore, the businesses should reduce inventory turnover in order to increase the profitability. Next, from the research comparison that have been done, we identify several research gaps in these two studies. First is SME sector study in the both research done is only investigating manufacturing industry. Due to that, it failed to describe a real picture of SMEs in Malaysia. This is because 90% of the SMEs in Malaysia in 2016 is service sectors. Even though service sector generally not associated with inventory, but there are also certain service sector holds inventory. Next, the gap is in sample size. The sample size is too small compared to the actual number of SMEs company in manufacturing sector. For the next component, I will pass to the next presenter.
Thank you, Emilia. I am Nufara Natasha binti Mustafa and my metric number is 202062 and I will be presenting regarding trade receivable. So the journal selected was written by Nasruddin Zainuddin in 2008 and the further recent study was conducted by Nasruddin Zainuddin together with the Angkapa Regupati in 2011. The previous study is to determine the relationship between the collection period and the size of the company and the financial performance, while in 2011, they expanded their focus into determining the relationship between the average collection period and the company size as well as the profitability. Both studying has been done to discover the profile of the collection period in order to ensure the survival of the small medium company. Both studies also use the same dependent variable, which is the average collection period. The previous study selected financial performance and company size as the independent variable. In the recent study, the independent variable selected that company size and the profitability. However, in this study, they have modified the measurement of the total asset from the previous study. The contour variable covering 1999 to 2002 from the previous study and from year 2001 to 2004 in the recent study. The theory set up the ability to liquidate the receivables should be concerned to the company, since non-payment and late payment by credit customer can negatively affect the business operation. In 2008, data collection are taken of the sample 279 SME in Malaysia that obtained from the Business and Search Information Services. Meanwhile, in 2011, data collection taken from the comprised financial statement in 200 of 240 SME that obtained from the Small Medium Industry Development Corporation. Both studies still maintain the 4-year annual data. The sample size of the data is reduced from 279 samples to 214 samples due to the financial figures slowly fluctuate. Both studies give the same result that average collection period is negatively associated with the company size. Similarly, in the previous study showed that there are negative correlation between collection period and the financial performance. Finally, the recent study concluded that the profitability appear to have an influence on average collection period due to the effectiveness of the cash management. Therefore, several other variables that were taken into consideration were firm age, ownership concentration, leverage, borrowing costs, and others. Other than that, need to explore taking the industry sector into an account because different sector had a different ACP. Next, I will pass to the next presenter.
Thank you, Nafara. I will continue this presentation for literature review of resources availability. Based on the table, there is comparison between two journals in years 2015 and 2018 that written by Nurul Nadia Ahmad, Wan Muhammad Taufiq Wan Abdullah and Suraya Ahmad. In 2015, the purpose is to identify the resources availability influencing the problem experienced by small medium enterprise in implementing cash management practice. In 2018, a further study was conducted to expand their focus on demographic profile and financial sustainability. Both studies use same dependent variable, which is cash management practice, but in 2018, there was expanded independent variable to demographic profile. The constant variable that both studies use is small medium enterprise service sector. Both studies use resources-based view theory, which is the availability of resources in the business influence cash management practice. Also, both studies are using same data collection method that distributing the 180 questionnaires to respondents, but only 150 questionnaires were usable for further analysis. In 2018, the researchers are using structural equation modeling by performing partial least squares method for data collection. As a result, in 2015, the employee skills and ability financial management training, financial support, and technological support positively related to the cash management practice. Similarly, in 2018, the availability resources in the business is positively related to the cash management practice and financial sustainability. Overall, SMEs business have good cash management practice if they implement educate financial support and trainings to conduct daily operation business. Both studies have several limitations, which are the scope of these studies is limited to 3 states only, which are East region of Malaysia, Kelantan, Terengganu, Pahang, and the method used in both studies are surveys by sample set of questionnaire. Whereas a future researcher can extend the collection of data by conducting interviews to allow respondents to share their perception on this issue. For summary, I will pass to Nofara.
In summary, briefly from the finding inventory management in the recent study focused at the specific criteria of the businesses. Therefore, the inventory turnover has a negative relationship with the SME profitability. Both studies show the negative correlation between average collection period and the company size, even though there is a modification of the measurement of the total asset in the trade receivable. Meanwhile, the recent study of resources availability expanded their focus on the demographic profile, which then result in the resources availability is positively related to the cash management practice. Besides, significant gaps and flaws in the conducting in this study should be taken into consideration in the future study that has mentioned in the each section before. Lastly, the information could help the SME businesses in effective and efficient cash management. That's all from us. Thank you.